Hey guys, Gyan here. Today I'm going to talk about how to control background music and sound effects volume across the scenes in Unity. So let us start. Go to Unity Hub and create a new project. Name it Volume Control. Okay, a new project is created. I personally work on my own layout, so I am changing to my own layout. Clearing the console. Go to the scenes. The default scene is sample scene. Change it to scene 1. Reload it. Press Command D to duplicate it. Now go to scene 1 and create one UI object slider. Name the slider as BG Music Slider for background music and position it to the center of the scene 0 0 0. Go to game view. Yeah. Now duplicate this, press Command D and name it SFX slider for sound effects. Position it below the background music slider -50 and now add one button. Name the button go to scene 2, position it 0 -100 0. Change the text on the button, go to scene 2. Now in assets, create one folder for scripts. In scripts folder, create a new C# script. Name it scene transition. Open scene transition script in Visual Studio. Okay, I'm changing the view to design view. I don't need these two default functions of Unity. Removing them, and I'm writing two public functions. First one public void go to scene 2. And another function public void back to scene 1. Add one directive using Unity Engine dot scene management. In go to scene 2, scene manager dot load scene, and it will go to scene 2. And in another function scene manager dot load scene, it will come back to scene 1. Save the script and come back to Unity editor. Okay, script is compiled. Now create one empty game object to hold that script and name it scene transition. Reset its position to 0, 0, 0 and drag scene transition script to this game object. Now go to scene 2 button, and when this button is clicked, it will refer to the function to move it to scene 2. Now save the scene, copy scene transition and go to scene 2. Paste it here. And in scene 2, create one button. Name this button as back to scene 1. Position it a similar position as it was in scene 1, -100, and change the button text back to scene 1. Now when this button is clicked, it will refer to the function in the script scene transition back to scene 1. Now save the scene, go back to scene 1. Now go to File, Build Settings, add these two scenes here, scene 1 and then scene 2. Close it, run the project. When I click on go to scene 2, it will take me to scene 2. And when I click on back to scene 1, it will take me to scene 1. So scene transition is set up. Now we will handle background music volume and its control. Create an empty game object, name it BG Music. Tag it as BG Music, create a new tag, BG MUSIC, BG Music, save it, tag it now, BG Music. Okay. Create a new folder in Assets to contain my audio files, name it Audio. I am dragging and dropping few audio files here. One for my background music and 3 more for my sound effects. Okay, so they are here. Now in BG Music, first reset it and then add component audio source. Now drag and drop my background music in audio clip slot. Check the box loop because the background music will keep on looping. Now go to scripts folder, add one new C# script, name is don't destroy onload BG Music. Don't destroy BG Music. Now open this script in Visual Studio. Okay, first make a singleton of this. Public static and class name, don't disturb in instance, initialize as null, and then in awake function private void awake, right condition, if instance equals null, then create a new instance, then instance equal to this, else if instance not equal to null, means already there is an instance of background music, then destroy this dot game object. So basically we don't want repetition of the same game object background music, because background music has to run seamlessly across the scenes. There need not be any disturbance. Okay, and also you don't need to destroy this script across the scene. So don't destroy on load this dot game object which is holding the script. Now save this script, go back to Unity editor, select BG Music and drag and drop BG Music script on this. Now run the scene and see. Go to scene 2, back to scene 1. You see the background music is running seamlessly. Now stop it. Now we will control background music's volume. Create an empty game object, name it BG Music Volume Controller, reset its position, create one, go to scripts folder, create one C# script, name it BG Music Volume Controller, open in Visual Studio. Add one directive using Unity Engine .ui. Okay, get the reference of slider and audio source, public slider BG Music underscore slider, and then public audio source BG Music underscore audio source. In start function we will write BG Music slider dot value equal to, we will get sliders value from player prefs. So player prefs dot get float, we need to define a key here. So BG Music underscore slider underscore, let's say value, and set its default value as 0.5f. If it doesn't get anything in the key, it will set the knob, slider knob in the middle. Now BG Music audio source dot volume, it will be proportional to where the slider knob is. So that will be equal to BG Music slider dot value. Not this update function. We will update. We will write one update for background music volume. Update BG Music volume, and in this function we will write. We will first get the value. What is the slider value currently in player press? So and set it. So player press dot set float. What is the key? Copy this key, paste here, and BG Music slider dot value. What value it is going to set? It is going to set the new value of the slider, and it is going to set the volume according to the new value. So BG Music audio source dot volume will be equal to new value. So BG Music slider dot value. Now save this script and go back to Unity editor. Wait for its compilation. Choose BG Music volume controller empty game object, drag the script here, get the reference BG Music slider reference from here, and BG Music audio source from here, and also in BG Music slider on value change it will refer to BG Music volume controller's script, and what function? Update. It's not appearing here. Okay, so we need to make this function as a public function. Save this script again and go back to Unity editor. Now see this function here after compilation. Update BG Music volume. Save the scene. Run the scene. Now let us change the volume. Minimum, mute, maximum. Minimum, maximum. Now go to scene 2. Come back to scene 1 and try to change this volume. No, it's no longer working. Why it is not working? See in the scene 1, BG Music volume controller, BG Music audio reference, it is no longer getting. Why it is not getting audio reference? Stop this. Why it is not getting audio reference? Because when we move from scene 1 to scene 2, all the objects in scene 1 get destroyed, and when we come back from scene 2 to scene 1, all the objects are created at runtime again. It was created along with other objects, but it got destroyed, marking it as a duplicate BG Music. So it got destroyed. Now we need to reference that BG Music object through code, not through drag and drop. So open the BG Music volume controller script again. Make this audio source private. We don't want to see this any longer in the inspector. And in a start function, add the first line as BG Music audio source from where it is getting. Now game object dot find game object with tag. Remember we tagged it initially as BG Music. Empty game object is tagged as BG, M capital is there, MUSIC, BG Music dot get component. I want to get its component audio source. What component? Audio source component. So audio source, and now it will get searched in the scene. BG music object will get searched in the scene, and on BG music object there is a component called BG music audio source. Save the script. It is already saved. Okay, go back to Unity editor and now run the scene. Change the volume. Okay, go to scene 2, come back to scene 1. Yes, now it is working. Mute, go to scene 2, it is mute. Back to scene 1, still mute. Full volume, go to scene 2, back to scene 1, full volume, again change. Yes, it is working perfectly fine now. Stop it. Now we will handle sound effects, volume control. So create an empty game object, name it SFX audio. Okay, reset its position, add another empty game object to it, name it, make it as a child of this, and rename it as button tap. Okay, this position got disturbed. Okay, again reset and duplicate it. Command D, Command D. Rename another one as what was the other SFX? Glass break. Rename it as glass break, and third one rename as new high score. New high score. Okay, in all three add one audio source component. Choose first one, drag button tap in the slot audio clip here. Another one, glass break audio clip. Another one, new high score audio clip. Okay, now go to scripts folder, add a new C# script, name it SFX volume controller. Open this script in Visual Studio. And get the reference using add the directive using Unity Engine .ui, and here you need to get the reference of the slider and audio source. So public slider SFX slider, and then public audio source. This time audio source will be array because there are bunch of SFX files. So public audio source SFX, let's say SFX files, and in its start function private void start, in its start function SFX slider SFX underscore slider dot value equal to player press. Again it will get from player press dot get float and define the key. Let's say SFX underscore value, and default value let's say 0.5f again. And now we need to loop through all the audio sources to set up their volume according to the slider value in one go. So use for loop for this. For int I equals 0, semicolon I less than SFX files dot length, array length, and I plus plus what it is going to do now, sfx files at index I dot volume equal to sfx slider dot value, and when its value changes, when slider value changes, volume should also change. So write a public function, public void update sfx volume, and now the updated value will be taken from player prefs. So player prefs dot set float, what is the key, sfx underscore value, and what value, sfx slider dot value. So sfx slider dot value, and need to copy this code for loop and paste here. Save the script, go back to Unity editor, wait for its compilation. Okay, so in sfx audio empty game object, drag this sfx volume controller and get the reference of sfx slider in the slot here. And how many sfx files are here? 3 sfx files. Go to audio folder, button tab, first one is the button tab. Okay, it's not taken from here. Okay, get from here, button tab, first one is button tab, second one is glass break, and third one is new high score. Okay, in sfx slider, when its value changes, refer the script which is on sfx audio empty game object, and what is that function? Update sfx volume. Now save the scene and copy this sfx audio, this whole game object, copy this, go to scene 2 and paste it here. Now here you need to remove this sfx controller script, remove this component, go to scripts folder, create a new C# script and write it as don't disturb sfx settings. Don't disturb. Open this in Visual Studio. Okay, add the directive using Unity Engine .ui and remove this. Okay, get the reference of audio files. So public audio source, audio files, or rather sfx files, and in start function you need to call one function which we are going to write here. So write a function, better write a function first. So it will be public, rather private void same settings, same sfx settings, and again here define one float, sfx slider value slider value equal to get from player prefs. So player prefs dot get float, and what is that key? Go to SFX volume controller, copy this key, command C, move to don't destroy SFX settings, paste this key here, and default value set is at 0.50f, and then loop through all those audio files. So for loop int, again int I equals 0, I less than SFX files dot length, and I plus plus, what is going to do, it is going to say SFX files at index I dot volume equals SFX slider value, SFX slider value. This way it will take the value from player prefs and set it as the same setting as previous one. So in start function you need to call the same SFX settings here, save it, save the script, and move to Unity editor. In scene 2 you need to add this, the script we have just written, don't disturb SFX settings, and you need to set up the audio source files here, drag in these slots, button tap here in button tap, glass break in glass break, new high score in new high score, save the scene, come back to scene 1, and now run it. See the SFX files in start function we have written. So for the time being, mute it, mute the background music, and change the volume of SFX so that when we go to scene 2 it is maximum volume of all the audio files in the start. Yes. Back to scene 1, maximum, mute it. Go to scene 2, all the SFX files should be muted, volume should be muted. Back to scene 1, muted. Perfect. So this way we have controlled both background music as well as sound effects volume. Thank you very much, and if you like this video, please consider like and subscribe to my channel. Have a nice day.